All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you again for being here and welcome to the class of 2025. My name is Plia Zhang and I am the Prospective Student Services Coordinator, and I work in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, or CALS for short, at UW-Madison. Today I'm joined by colleagues in our CALS Academic Affairs Office to share with you more about our academic opportunities in CALS. And I'm going to have my co-facilitator, Tom Brown, introduce himself.
Thanks, Leah. Good afternoon, everyone. As Leah said, my name is Tom Brown. I'm one of the assistant deans in the Office of Academic Affairs and want to welcome you to this presentation and look forward to presenting information about our college to you this afternoon.
All right, thank you, Tom. So before we start and have our panelists here tell you more about their program, we just want to highlight our CALS majors and degree programs that we have in CALS. Some of your names look familiar. I've seen you at our previous panel, so thank you for joining with us again today. So we just wanted to share with you our majors and degrees that we offer in CALS. So you'll see here we have 24 programs, and all of our programs lead to a variety of careers as well as graduate and professional schools. So you'll see here we have anywhere from life sciences communication to animal science to global health, which is one of our new majors, to environmental sciences and many more. So these are all the programs that we offer in CALS, and they're all unique and special in their own way. You may see that we have some majors that with a star, some that are in red, and some in green. So just wanted to quickly share with you. So the ones with a star, so agricultural business management, biological systems engineering, and dietetics, these are our unique specialized degree programs. And so they have prerequisites for you to meet before you to continue with that track or that program. And these are, again, specialized degree programs. And then we also have our majors in red. So that's biochemistry, biology, environmental science, and microbiology. These are 4 majors that we share with the College of Letters and Science. So to kind of give you a little more information about that. So in CALS, we only offer Bachelor of Science degrees, and historically, we have always shared these 4 majors. So what that means if you do one of these 4 majors in CALS is that you'll be getting a Bachelor of Science degree. And a Bachelor of Science degree means that you'll be taking more science classes and less humanities. If you choose to do any of these majors in LNS or College of Letters and Science, you can choose to do a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science. And that difference is that in the Bachelor of Arts, you'll take more humanities, literature, and then less sciences. These are all still really great major programs, whether you choose to do it in CALS and LNS, but we just wanted to take a moment to explain that to you. And also, Global Health is our brand new major. It just launched in fall 2020. So this is a very new popular major. It used to be a certificate program, but with this popularity and growing interest, and we now offer it as a major as well. And lastly, if you are undeclared, undecided, or you're not really sure which major you want to declare when you come to UW-Madison, you can definitely be undeclared in CALS, and you will and when you are undeclared, you will be assigned to a Transitional Advising and Outreach Services Advisor, or TAOS for short. And this advisor will help ensure that you're taking courses that fulfill your gen ed requirements, but also help you to further explore majors of interest to you. So this is a little information about our majors and degrees. So just wanted to start off with that today. And then now I'm going to transition a little into more about our CALS Academic Affairs Office. So for those who may not be familiar, our CALS Academic Affairs Office is hosted in 116 Agricultural Hall. And in this office, we're made up of many units. So we have our CALS Honors Program, we have the QuickStart program, CALS Study Abroad, CALS Career Services, Transitional Advising Outreach Services, and CALS scholarships. We also have Dean on Call in this office as well. It's not listed on the screen, but that is a really great service for students who may have questions about academic policies. And if you may want extra support in walking through what those are, and let's say you may be struggling in the class and you have exhausted all your resources, you're thinking of dropping a course, or you're thinking of transferring or double majoring, you would come into Dean on Call. With everything going on right now, everything is virtual, but our hours are always Monday through Friday from 12 to 3:30, and it's definitely a really great service. So I'm going to start turning it over to our panelists to share with you more about their programs. If you have any questions about any of the programs, you are more than welcome to use the chat to type your questions in there, and Tom will be helping me monitor the chat. And we will also have designated Q&A time at the very end as well for any questions you may have about any of our programs. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Heather to tell you about our CALS Honors Program.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Heather Mayalik, and I am the Honors Program Manager. The objective of the CALS Honors Program is to help students develop critical thinking and problem-solving abilities through the challenge of designing, conducting, and reporting your own research in collaboration with UW faculty or through specialized coursework in your major. So we have two tracks, and one is Honors in Research. That program is based on, or that track rather, is based on research milestones where students engage in a multi-year research project with a UW faculty member and also complete a sequence of seminars to complement the lab experience. There are presentations involved, and ultimately a senior thesis is what comes out of that track and results in an honors designation at graduation. The other track, Honors in the Major, is based on coursework where students complete courses in the major that have additional rigor aimed at allowing students to gain advanced knowledge in those areas in the major area. There's also a senior thesis that is written in this track as well. Just a note on the Honors and Majors track, only some of our majors have that opportunity available. The Honors and Research track is available to all students of any major, instead of pursuing any major. So I'm happy to take questions about any of that in the chat. You can chat me directly or answer or ask in the Q&A at the end, or certainly reach out via email. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan. I am a junior student in biosystems engineering, but what I do for CALS is I work with the CALS QuickStart program. So QuickStart is a summer start program for incoming CALS first year students, so all of you guys, admitted students. So you apply this spring, the application is open now for 2021, and then you participate in the program online the summer before your freshman year, so it will be this summer. So the content of the course and the way you can think about it is it's kind of like a crash course for college and for CALS. So the focus of the class is to get you acquainted with any and all opportunities and resources that you could really think of that you would need as a freshman and then as like an undergraduate student. It's kind of designed to help you hit the ground running once you do come to campus. So all of the resources that you'll hear about today, like academic planning and study abroad and honors and research, we have modules dedicated to each of those things throughout the 8-week course. So, and it's also not just getting exposed to these resources, but we try and give really concrete steps to help you access those opportunities directly, so that once you do come to campus, you're really ready to start setting those goals and achieving those goals that you have. So something else you also get access to is an upperclassman peer mentor. So I've been a peer mentor for the past 2 years since doing the program myself. And then you also have a cohort of peers to help you kind of build that network and sense of community before you even get to campus in the fall. So once you do get here, you've got hopefully some familiar faces in some of your first year classes. So in addition to all those things, it also counts as your first year seminar, which is a graduation requirement for CALS. And then you do also get the opportunity for an optional early move-in and some additional programming in late August. As you can see on the slide, there are need-based scholarships offered for early applicants to the program to help kind of offset the cost of the credit over the summer. And then something new this year that we're excited about is that there are limited spots available to also take a 3-credit course, a select 3-credit course along with the QuickStart class so that you can get even more credits under your belt as an incoming freshman. So I said before I did the program myself as an incoming freshman. And then I've been a peer mentor / TA for the past 2 years. And it opened so many doors for me. I really can't recommend it enough. It was one of the best choices that I made coming to campus and coming to CALS. I felt much more prepared coming to campus. And I heard about opportunities that most people don't really investigate until they're like a late sophomore, early junior. And actually just over a quarter of the incoming class of CALS students participates in QuickStart. So I will share the program website and where you can find the application and information about the cost and the scholarships, and the program email and my personal email in the chat, so that if you have questions, you can either ask them during the Q&A or you can email them to me.
Hi everyone, my name is Brett Sheevy. I'm the Director of CALS Study Abroad. I'm excited to be talking with you all today about the different study abroad options that you'd have as a CALS student. So CALS Study Abroad is one of only 3 study abroad offices on campus. So there's the Central Study Abroad Office, which is International Academic Programs. Wisconsin School of Business has a study abroad office, and then CALS has a study abroad office. So the programs that we run out of our office are geared towards CALS students, and we offer scholarships specifically for CALS students in order to study abroad. UW Study Abroad, so all of the offices together, there's about 260 programs in about 65 different countries. And when we talk about study abroad, we mean more than just going abroad for a semester and taking courses. CALS offers a good portion of the UW Study Abroad's faculty-led programs, which are offered over summer, winter, and spring break. And so it's a short-term program. Our programs as a whole range from as short as 1 week to as long as 1 academic year, really depending on your goals for studying abroad, your academic, personal, and or career goals. There are 2 study abroad advisors that are within CALS Study Abroad that all CALS students can access to start having these conversations around why do I want to study abroad? What do I want to get out of this experience? And then what are the programs that will allow me to fulfill my goals? Some of the reasons that students choose to study abroad is to experience another culture, build relationships with faculty, students, and international partners, and gain new understanding of the world, your studies, and yourself. Studying abroad can be one of the most valuable experiences outside of the other valuable experiences that are offered within academic affairs. And so I would strongly suggest that you consider studying abroad regardless of where you end up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Noelle Thompson. I'm the Assistant Director of CALS Career Services. So a little bit about what we do. Career Services is not just for seniors, it's for students at any point of their career journey. So whether you're decided and ready for an internship or a full-time job, or undecided and you're ready to explore, we can help you out. Our main types of programming are our career fairs that you can see listed at the top here. We typically have 1 to 2 career-like events per semester with a couple other extra programming events as well. A career fair is kind of like a college fair, but instead of colleges, it's companies, and they're typically recruiting for full-time opportunities and internships as well. Concurrently with that, we also offer advising appointments. So anywhere from you need help identifying and searching for our internships or jobs to helping you with that salary negotiation, we can kind of help you out at any point. There's no limits to how many times you can come to us. In fact, you can actually come as an alumni, so that can be really helpful. And we're just here at any point of your career journey to help you out. Feel free to message me in the chat if you have more questions.
All right, hello again, everyone. The Transitional Advising and Outreach Services Unit, or TAOS, is a unit that's available for students who are still kind of in that exploration phase. I'm sure you get asked a ton of times what you're going to major in, and maybe you have an idea, and maybe you're still trying to decide between a few different areas. There is an option to come into the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences as an undeclared, undecided student. That doesn't mean that you don't have any ideas. It just means that you're still trying to sort through things. The staff in the TAOS group are here to advise students who are in that space while still providing good information, access to resources that are going to help those students be able to continue with a progression that's moving towards a degree, but having an intentional way of being able to know who the next steps are. For who to talk to when exploring a major, or having a centralized point person to be able to help answer those questions. Nobody here should be wondering what office to go to or how many steps it takes to get your question answered. And so the advisors in our unit are there to help with advising for class scheduling, but certainly to help with the navigation of what can be a large campus. In order to find the appropriate people to talk to. So you can see that Plia and I are part of this staff, and our colleagues Kiva and Ryan are also very helpful people. You may hear about other spaces on campus where students who are undecided can explore. Cross college advising service is another great resource, but we know that some students do have an interest in their areas and they're just, again, trying to decide. TOS may be a great fit for students in that space.
Hello, everyone. My name is Karen Martin. I am the Scholarship Director for the College of Ag and Life Sciences. I wanted to let you know that the application for CALS scholarships unfortunately has closed for the 21-22 academic year. However, every student must apply every year, so continue to watch for emails, Facebook, Twitter, newsletter information that will go out in October when you're on campus, and you'll be able to apply for scholarships that will be for the upcoming academic year, which would be 22-23. It's a hard thing for me to wrap my head around, but we do plan ahead. College is expensive. We know that. That's why we also encourage students to apply or complete the FAFSA. If you haven't done that, it's something that you can do and do that with your parents because that makes you eligible for all types of aid that are offered on our campus, ranging from loans to work study to grants to scholarships. Now, specifically with scholarships, the CALS scholarship application is one single application, but we have over 200 funds from which we award money. We award over 600 different scholarship awards on an annual basis, totaling over $1 million. So our CALS application is one application that covers all of that for you. You don't have to apply for 200 different funds. It's just one application, and we take that information plus other information that we get from you when you apply to UW-Madison, other things that are in a student information system. And that data is important to us as we match students to awards based on the criteria for each donor. That's the essential piece. The matching process happens with the donor intent in mind. And as I mentioned, when you're on campus, applying at some point in early November, and usually we close early February. It looks like our upcoming cycle will open November 1st and close February 4th. Please apply. It takes maybe, we don't have any letters of recommendation or essays that need to be written. So it's a pretty simple application in terms of completion. And it would be well worth it. Our average scholarship is about $1,700. And, you know, even though it's not something that's going to completely pay for an academic experience, any little bit helps. And if you know you can spend 30 minutes applying for a CALS scholarship for $1,700, I think that's a pretty good rate of return for some effort that you put in. So every student must reapply every year for consideration. So even if you did not apply this year, you will be able to apply for future years. So keep that in mind. And I welcome any questions that you have. You can put them in the chat or maybe save them for the Q&A later.
All right. Thank you to all of our panelists for sharing about your programs in CALS. So with that said, we are going to open up the floor for Q&A. So you can ask your question in multiple ways. You can type them in the chat, and then Tom will read the question and help answer it, or direct it to the appropriate panelist. Or you can unmute yourself to ask your question. So feel free to use either the chat or unmute yourself to ask your question. So I see Claire has her hand raised. Go ahead, Claire.
Hi, thank you so much. My question is about the honors and the major for the honors program. I'm majoring in global health, and I'm wondering if that's offered for that major.
Heather, can you respond to that question?
It is not offered at this time. The program as a major is brand new and there's not yet an honors path for that. So unfortunately, no. But you could still pursue honors in research with that major.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
Great question. What other questions do you have for us? Yes, go ahead, Udiah.
Hello, thanks for I guess taking the time for this. But my question was about the honors program as well. I was just wondering, like, how do you come across it, if that makes sense? Like, how am I, like, if I were to show up to Madison, like, how would I just like register in the specific classes that would designate as honors, or would I have to talk to a professor if I wanted to do it through research? Like, how would I get that opportunity, if that makes sense?
It does. An excellent question. So first, there's an application process, and I will post that here, the application in the chat in a moment, so you can take a look. And so if you chose the honors and research path, the first class that you would take on that track would be in the spring of your freshman year, and that would be our first of 3 honors seminars. So students take a seminar each spring for their first 3 years. It's a 1-credit-hour seminar that helps to enhance and supplement the research that students are doing in labs with faculty on campus. And then if you were to do the honors and major path, you would be taking specific coursework within that major, and you would work with your advisor to determine what those courses would be with your academic advisor. So, and you could mention that this summer when you're working through SOAR, but also it absolutely is not required that you start that in your very first semester. It's okay, to get to campus and get a feel for things. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There was a question in the chat from Reese about where to find prerequisite coursework for majors that need them. There's a resource called the Guide, and it's guide.wisc.edu that has all information about academic programs at the university, including programs within the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. So no matter what the major is, it's got a description of what those majors are about, but a list of all the requirements to earn a degree, including those that have prerequisites for majors. We've got 2 programs that actually have prerequisites for them. It's dietetics and biological systems engineering. So if you were to look up those 2 majors or degree programs in particular, you could go to that page and see what the courses are that are required in order to move into the professional sequences for those programs. For all of our other majors in CALS, if you declare on your application that you want to pursue those majors and you get admitted to the university, you're automatically in those programs. There are no other prerequisites that are needed to move into our other majors. And then you could use the guide to just see what requirements there are for completing that major program. Okay, so Heather, looks like there's another question for you about honors. Where can you find a list of majors that do offer honors in the major?
Absolutely. I am just seeing that. Thanks for pointing that out, Tom, and I will post that as well.
So if you guys can see your chat area, there are some links in the chat area that are being posted.
I see
For you.
question in the chat about QuickStart. So the application is really simple. So if you follow the link that I sent, you scroll all the way down to the bottom and it's actually just a Google form. Thank you. Oh, and you provide like some information about like what you're interested in, and then there's a question about like why you want to do the program, mostly just so we can get to know you. And then if you apply before the April 15th deadline, you are considered for the scholarship, but then the application itself is the last deadline is May 1st, which I think is decision day. So then the next part of the question, is it solely based on providing incoming freshmen, or does it also include coursework? Yeah, so that's a good question. So the class itself that you do over the summer, it's 8 weeks long. And so it is a course, like there's readings that you do and like activities and things that you'll submit, but it's not necessarily like a content exam based, quiz based class. It's more about like finding out what you're interested in and then investigating these resources, and we kind of just have activities and coursework for you to do that'll guide you through that. So hopefully that answers Claire's question.
I can answer the question from Chloe regarding how can we get involved in honors in research as freshmen. So the application process is rolling, and so you can begin applying now, and you could apply through the summer, through the first semester. The latest would be so that you can register for the first seminar in the spring of your first year, your freshman year. However, I would encourage, as soon as you solidify your interest, to go ahead and apply, because at that point, then you start getting information via email about finding research opportunities on campus and being a part of that cohort. So the answer is to apply would be the first step in getting involved.
Feel free to continue asking us questions. So let us know if there's any other questions you may have. There was a question earlier about us being assigned an academic advisor. I just thought it would be good to just bring up too. So each student is assigned an academic advisor depending on what major you are in. So you'll get that academic advisor, and later on, if you decide to change majors, then you'll be assigned a new advisor to whatever major that you change to. So just want to let you know that. So you always have that one advisor, that academic advisor that you can always go to. And then there's other advisors as well. So we have study abroad advisors, career advisors, honors advisors, and if you're interested in pre-health, we also have the Center for Pre-Health Advising, and they also have advisors as well. All right. Claire, go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I missed this when you were talking just now, but did you say that any major can get like pre-health advising? Okay.
Yes. Yep. If you are starting your first year, definitely take advantage of first year Fridays. So this is offered by the Center for Pre-Health Advising. So that's always Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it's a drop-in service. So you can go in and meet with a pre-health advisor, and they can help you with just starting to explore pre-health careers and what things you can do to prepare. So definitely take advantage of that. And then when you are ready to apply to med school, vet school, pharmacy school, all that stuff, you are more than welcome to set up an appointment to meet with them as well.
That's really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So there's a question from Race about learning communities and how are they helpful to CALS students. Jordan, do you want to take a stab at that, or?
Sure, yeah.
Yep.
So I did, I was in the Bradley learning community, which is the learning community for, it's like all freshmen. And that's kind of like the theme of it was like, it's like the first year learning community at Bradley Residence Hall. So everyone in the residence hall was in it. So we had like a seminar that we would go to once a week where it was people who like lived in Bradley, and we would go to the class, and it was really just a way to like get to know a smaller group of people, because it's kind of overwhelming to try and meet like the people in your classes at like all the classes that you have, and like your residence hall can be kind of big. So it was helpful because you just kind of had like a face-to-face interaction with a smaller group of people that you knew you had something in common with. Because like with Bradley, it was that we were all freshmen, but with some of the other learning communities, like there's one for women in STEM, there's one bio house, like for people who are interested in biology. Greenhouse, I know, is another one for people who are interested in like horticulture and botany. So that's why I think they were helpful.
Thanks, Jordan. And I would just add to that, one of the ideas from the university when creating these learning communities was just providing a close-knit group of students that could network with each other in a space where that was pretty convenient for them to be able to do it for an exchange of ideas, just for getting to know students who have similar interests. And they're not really tied to the major that a student is in. I mean, I know that some other universities have, CALS dorms or business school dorms or things like that. That's not the way this university works. So there's an opportunity to engage with a student who may have a similar interest, say in the greenhouse learning community, but maybe an engineering student. And so it provides some cross-campus interdisciplinary kind of relationships that can happen. So I think that the main goal of them, it's really more of a personal interest more than an academic advantage, although there are some programming and opportunities to engage that can provide some certainly professional skill development and complementary programming. But a lot of it's just the networking opportunities that students find useful and being around like-minded students. All right, Noelle, we have a question for you from Chloe. You see that in the chat. Would career services help determine whether or not foreign language fits into the major and future careers?
That's a very interesting question. So in terms of the first part of it fitting into a major, that would be more of an academic advisor question, just to figure out the logistics of getting that major into your course schedule and how it would work in terms of your time to graduation. After that, then we could talk about how we could market that towards getting you into a career and how that would differentiate yourself from other candidates. So kind of a team effort, but still doable nonetheless. I hope that answers your question.
So I got a question, and I'm hoping one of the panelists can help me answer. So are there specific study groups in CALS, or is that more directed towards specific classes you're in? So I know there are campus-wide study groups for students, so that includes like Peer Learning Association, GUTS, which is Greater University Tutoring Services. So there's definitely tutoring services available for students. But can anyone add on or share more about specific study groups?
So I was in preps for a lot of my like introductory STEM classes. So I guess I would say they're probably more like class based. Or like department. So like there's like math lab is for like if you're in calculus or any of like the first year math courses. And then there's like a chemistry learning center as well. Those are the ones that I've used. So preps is for like intro engineering courses and like statics and physics, and then the math lab one is for like calculus and algebra, and then the chemistry ones, those are the ones that I've heard of.
And there's a reason why I think a lot of the support networks are kind of course specific, other than like those large general sort of introductory level courses, because each class sort of is a unique experience in itself. And frankly, a lot of the support that's built into the classes can be found. A lot of instructors do set up opportunities for group sessions and in review within the class. Also, office hours is something that we encourage students to take advantage of, just having the opportunity to interact and reach out to those instructors completely. A unique thing, I guess it's not unique, but because of the life science based nature of a lot of our majors in CALS for the first couple of years, a lot of the coursework that our students take are actually in departments that are outside of CALS. So math, chemistry, some of the biology courses, and some of the humanities, sort of liberal arts based courses are in departments outside of CALS. And so our students take advantage and use some of the resources that Jordan mentioned, the math tutorial program, the chemistry learning center. Instead of trying to duplicate efforts, our students are welcome to participate in those kind of resources. And so they're available to students, but you're not going to see a ton of CALS like tutorial programs, because they're most of the needs are pretty unique to those classes. I'm sorry, I just wanted to add something to Noelle's answer and from Chloe's question, just kind of a general sense. It made me think about just the big picture of a degree program. If you don't take away one thing from this, hopefully you'll take away a lot of things. But one piece that you get is you're earning a degree, a Bachelor of Science degree from the College of Ag and Life Sciences. And a Bachelor of Science degree is earned by completing several different requirements, including a major. A major is a part of that degree program. And so the other kind of courses that students take are largely complementary to building upon those life sciences skills, where someone earning a degree, say in the College of Letters and Sciences, might take more humanities, literature, where foreign language kind of fits in. And so when you think about being marketable for moving on when you're done, think about it as what you're getting in a degree program versus a major. A degree as a really comprehensive sort of programming that a student gets that's going to include a specialization in a major, but also some practical skills by taking some humanities, writing, cultural learning courses, or some communication type courses, or foreign language potentially being a part of that. You're building a skill set while completing those degree requirements. And so that's something that you can look forward to with a university education. There are a lot of different ways that you can apply the courses that you're learning. And there's a reason then for the kind of breadth and depth that an actual degree program has in its requirements. I just wanted to add that we get questions a lot of time, well, why do I have to take these other courses? Or why would it be good for me to take those other courses? Professional programs, graduate schools, and employers are looking for well-rounded students who have varied skill sets.
I'm going to jump in and just add a shameless plug that only 10% of undergraduate students participate in a study abroad experience as part of their degree plan. And so what Tom was just mentioning in terms of gaining the skills that are relevant to your future, but then also making yourself marketable, studying abroad can be a great opportunity to do that.
So Chloe has a question that anybody on the panel can answer. Do you have advice on double majoring? The primary major is life sciences communication, and wondering if it would pair with environmental science or environmental studies.
I can take a stab at it. So I wasn't a double major, but I can tell you that both LSC and environmental sciences majors are both very flexible majors. So life sciences is a 24 credit major, and they will work with you to make sure that you are fulfilling your life sciences communication requirements, but also your second major. And the cool thing is that I can see them both working well together. So like environmental sciences, of course, is very flexible too. And then life sciences can help enhance on your communication skills and how to talk and communicate science. So I can see those two majors working really well together.
And I'll just add, just from a philosophical standpoint on double majoring, we have a good proportion of students who do seek a double major. And again, that's one of the ways that you can use that degree programming. There is room in a degree to have electives, and how students use that elective pool is up to them. And certainly a second major or certificate or study abroad, getting some credits from there, even if they're elective credits, are ways that students fulfill that space. But one thing we want students to think about is don't do it for the sake of credentialing. Do it for the sake of something that makes sense for your professional and career development. Biology and biochemistry have a lot of overlap together. And so some students may say, well, I'll double major in that because you can. But the practical value isn't quite the same as, say, biology and Spanish, or biology and life sciences communications. And so when we're advising people about double majoring, we want them to be complementary programs that actually help each other. And life sciences communication is one of the best majors at being a double major, because it's kind of built to be complementary to a lot of our life science based programs or any other programs on campus.
I'll just, while we're answering a question of Chloe's, I want to go back to one of her other questions. I took the honors and research from a program bent with the earlier question about getting involved with research. But I would just add a little bit to that too about getting involved in just research during your first year, and that's absolutely possible. And we have lots of students doing it. Obviously, this year was different for on so many different fronts, including the research front. But we anticipate that things, including undergraduate research, will be back and running in the fall, and students are already back in labs. So in terms of getting into research in connecting with a mentor, I would plug here the CALS QuickStart program over the summer. One of the modules I instruct in that program, and one of the modules that we work through has a research component, and there's actually a opportunity to grow and hone your skills around reaching out to faculty to establish those relationships and find those opportunities. How do you go about connecting with a faculty who you think is doing interesting research? And so it is possible, exciting, and being done. And QuickStart would be a cool way to kind of get a leg up on being able to reach out to those faculty early on.
All right, so I'm just doing a time check. So it's about 3:51. So questions have seemed to kind of slow down a little bit. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. We'll be here until 4. But before, if you don't have any more questions, before you go, I just wanted to share this last slide with you. So this lists all of our future events that you are more than welcome to come and participate. So of course, this was our first CALS Admitted Students Week for February. And then we will also have another Admitted Students Week in March and April. So those events are listed there. And then to sign up, you can go on our website, ambassadors.cals.wis.edu. You can just type that into your web browser and then click on events, and it'll list all the event date, times, registration link, and details there. And also, if you can't come to any of our Admitted Student Week events, we also do have regular CALS info sessions for any student interested in CALS to learn a bit more about us. So with that, we will stick around with more questions. If you have any more questions, otherwise, you are free to get a head start on your weekend. So thank you so much again for being here. And again, stay warm, have a good weekend.
Yeah, I think we have one more question.
Okay.
If I think Brett, maybe you could take a stab at that from Chloe. Just is it recommended to research and study abroad? And how can you find those opportunities?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think there's a few different ways that I could interpret that question. So I think, is it good to do research and to also study abroad? I would say to go back to what Tom was talking about earlier, thinking about which experiences you want as part of your time at UW-Madison in terms of prioritizing and finding value in the experiences that you actually engage in. So I think if it would be beneficial to do research, then you should do research. If it would be beneficial to study abroad, you should do study abroad. And it certainly is possible to do both. And it's also possible to do a research experience abroad. So we do have some experiences where you can go abroad and you can do either wet or field research, wet lab or field research as part of your study abroad experience. It could be a program over the summer where you're spending 10 weeks in Thailand at a university and doing wet lab experiences, or it could be where you're going to the Netherlands and doing field research about LGBT identities. So it really depends on what you want to get out of your experience, and then utilizing my team to help you find the experiences that you're going to find value in. Heather, anything that you would add to that?
I would just second the piece about the possibility of doing both. It happens all the time.
And I can quickly find, I'll help you. I'll pull up the program search for you that you can go to in order to find all the programs that we offer at UW-Madison.
And while Brett's doing that, I'll just add, today I had a student who had that exact question of, I kind of want to live abroad. How can I get in some internship experience while I'm an undergrad? And I said, why not make an appointment with Study Abroad to talk about some international internship opportunities? So just to kind of highlight what Tom said too, about how we're not going to make you jump through a bunch of hoops. Like we pretty much, because we're a smaller office, we know kind of who you should be meeting with. So just another example of how we just want to help you out to have the best experience you can.
And I would also like to add that for these study abroad experiences you're talking about, I do work closely with the CALS Study Abroad program, and we do offer scholarships. I know that Brett had mentioned that before, but I just wanted to make sure that I highlighted that again, as well as checking out any scholarship opportunities that could be available to you through the Wisconsin Scholarship Hub, known as WISH. You'll have a tile in your student center, and you can check that out periodically, because as things across campus become available for which the criteria you might fit, you should check out those opportunities, because there are things that are campus-wide scholarships. It's not just college-wide scholarships, but there's also programs like Study Abroad and international academic programs. So make sure you take advantage of that WISH tile in your student center.
And maybe just to add one more thing to the mix, I hope that I can speak on behalf of everyone here. We don't expect you to have all these answers and know exactly what you want to do on your first day at UW-Madison. That's why we're here. We're here to help you figure out what you want to do, where you want to go, and then how to make that happen. So utilize us. That's exactly we're in our positions because we find value in helping you explore those opportunities and those avenues. And so please utilize those resources.